All right, welcome back. At this time, the number to call when it's time for you to call is 457-9997. You listen to WFM 99.9, the clean, fresh sound. The number to WhatsApp is 457-9994. Like I said a minute ago, the Commissioner of Police for the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Forces in studio with us, Mr. Colin John. Good morning and Happy New Year.
Good morning to you, Christal, and Happy New Year to you too. Happy New Year to the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and all the persons who are listening via this medium. It's always a pleasure to interact with the public directly, and more so at the beginning of the year 2023. So I welcome this opportunity to be here and to speak to the members of the public.
All right, lovely. So I know that the RSVGPF, they normally have statements to make. So I'm going to allow the first portion of today's program, allow you to share any important information or messages to the public.
No, I just want to wish the public all the best for 2023 and beyond. And I just want to use this opportunity to thank the public for their assistance, guidance, support that they give to the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force in our crime fighting effort for 2022. 2022 was a relatively challenging year where, although we saw a decrease in crimes generally, we saw an increase in homicides. The record prior to that was 40. We got to the number 42, which is not something we are very proud of. And it's something that caused us to have to go back to the drawing board. We have to ensure that the end of this year that we are significantly below that figure. So I just want to solicit the assistance of the public in that regard as we try to make sure that the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines continue to remain safe.
Okay, when you say solicit this support, what are your expectations or requirements of the general public to help to reduce or keep as low as possible the homicide rate?
Well, first of all, to exercise a level of tolerance. A lot of the homicides are caused by persons being intolerant of other person's views or other person's opinion. And another way that the public can assist is to provide police with information. We have cameras in certain areas. The police will patrol from time to time, but we cannot be everywhere at every time. And in a lot of cases, persons be able to provide information to the police, and some have, others are more reluctant to do that. So in that regard, we are asking that the information we increase, the source of information to the police be increased. We can guarantee that it will be kept confidential once it is channeled to the right source.
As you said, guarantee that it will be kept confidential. There are some people who do not believe that that will happen, either based on stories they've heard or based on experience. If there is a situation where the individual can confirm that the information that they shared was not kept confidential, or the source, what can be done about that?
Well, I said once it is channeled to the right source, because as we know, in every organization, regrettably, involving, including the Royal St. Vincent and Grenadines Police Force, there are persons who really should not be police officers who are there, and I'm being frank about that. Persons who their action fall below the standard of professional and effective police officer. So we have had instances where persons are less than confidential in their doings as a police officer. So that's why I'm saying channel it to the right source. To answer your question directly though, once those incidents are detected and there's sufficient evidence to substantiate those allegations, persons can be and have been charged disciplinarily. The disciplinary charge, when proven, given a sentence or penalty of a fine up to dismissal or reduction in rank. So disciplinary action can and have been taken against persons who have breached the confidentiality code of the Royal Somerset Grenadier Police Force.
Okay. So you said get the information to the right person. Who is the right person? Because whenever releases are made, there is a part at the end that says, well, gives you two or three different numbers to call. And then it ends by saying you can speak with a trusted officer.
Right.
So who is the right person?
Right. So persons would realize, okay, the numbers that they call, the persons who they are directed to, we do not have any evidence that they would not be confidential. And the other proviso is that a person might be comfortable interacting with me as opposed to someone else. So a person who you feel comfortable based on your previous course of conduct with him or her and other things relating to that. So that's why you would put that proviso at the end of each release.
But really and truly, you're supposed to call the numbers at the end of.
Well, you have different options. Yeah, different options.
Okay. So, for the benefit of those who may not know, what are the numbers or who should be the first point of contact outside if they don't know anybody at all?
Well, you have the assistant commissioner in charge of crime or the head of the CID department, because in most cases, these are incidents that they are calling about, incidents relating to crime. So they will have an integral role to play in disseminating the information. So once you call those persons, they can filter it down to the appropriate persons.
So, let's paint a scenario here. I might have been in a position where I witness a murder or a killing. And how could I feel reassured knowing that perhaps the person saw me or they know that I know something? How can I feel reassured and safe with giving the police that information? What mechanisms are in place to either keep me safe and protected, either mentally or physically? What comes after giving up that information?
Okay, we have what you level of witness protection where persons have been assisted to go to different jurisdiction if they are concerned about the safety. That is something that the police, along with the office of the director of public prosecution, we have in place. We also have the witness anonymity or the Witness Special Measures Act, where persons can give evidence in an anonymous way, or they can give evidence from outside of the country via video link and those things. So these are some of the mechanisms that we have in place and that we have utilized before and will continue to utilize.
Okay, so somebody is asking, and you feel free to ask. You can ask via WhatsApp. You can ask via our live on Facebook at WFM99. The WhatsApp number is 457-9994. Somebody saying, good morning. If the witness is unsafe in disseminating that information, can they text?
Yes, yes, they can text that information.
So there's a WhatsApp number.
Yes, they can, yes,
They just send it in.
yes, yes,
And then you do your investigations because somebody might send in false information too.
definitely.
Has that been a major setback in solving crimes?
I would say yes. We would receive information in most of the murders that were committed. Person would say, okay, this or that is the person. I would have information about the person. But some persons, notwithstanding the Witness Special Measures Act, are still reluctant to testify or to translate that information into evidence. And in the court of law, you cannot operate or they do not operate on information. They operate on evidence, cogent evidence, evidence that you have to prove this offense was committed beyond reasonable doubt. And so just hearing that this person did that thing or that person done that thing, that is not sufficient. It may assist in the investigation. We will take that information and carry out further queries or further investigations into the matter. If we obtain other evidence that require that the person do not necessarily have to come to court, then we may be able to charge that person. But where the primary or the person would not be able to be convicted without this person willing to go to court or willing to testify, then that can pose a problem, notwithstanding the fact that you would have had information that this person or that person committed the crime.
And some people might be really fearful for their lives, especially hearing one or two stories from the past. Even if it's rumor or fact, I mean, it still would resonate with somebody. You have to go to court, you have to face the people. They might have said something, or you might have heard, or you know what they might be capable of. That might be a major setback to you. I don't think the average person would want to put themselves through that, even though they understand how important their role might be in helping to reduce the number of criminal activities
I
that take
agree.
place.
And as I said before, we still have to encourage persons to come forward because we have mechanisms in place to, as far as possible, to protect them and to um, ensure as far as possible that they are safe.
Okay. So do people utilize the complaints department? I know a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but people tend to go on social media and complain on social media. Do they actually come down to the police station and make formal complaints?
Yes, persons do that relatively frequently.
What's the most frequent complaint you've had?
Well, about the way how some police may approach persons, physical assault allegedly by police officers and civilians. These are the main, or sometimes the delay or um, non-action or inaction of police officers as regard particular reports. Yeah, so these are the most frequent complaints from the public against the police.
Okay. So for the cases where officers might have been disrespectful, how were those cases resolved?
Well, we would investigate it if there's evidence to substantiate it. The persons may be charged disciplinarily. There's a charge or a section under the Police Act where there's conduct to the prejudice of good order and discipline in the organization. And so the person may be charged disciplinary. Yeah. I must admit that that part of it, we need some more public information. We need to give the public more information in that regard because persons may hear about police, persons reported against the police, but they may not hear as to what transpired after that. So I think that's something that we definitely need to step up on for this year.
Because if I'm hearing Susie say, I'm just using a random name, Susie say this officer was disrespectful to her, they did that at terror, and then I don't hear anything that happens, I'm going to assume that even nothing happens. I mean, that's the only assumption I could make.
Yeah, I
That
agree.
nothing happens.
And I don't blame the public for that. So as I said before, I put up my hand. I think that is something, that area that we definitely need to improve on for this year.
Okay, so do you already have, while it is a desire to improve on that, do you have a plan in place for 2023 in that regard?
Yes, spoken to the head of the public relations and complaint department. So that is something that we definitely need to disseminate more information for this year.
Okay. Are the public relations and complaints departments still in the same place?
Yes, we are in the process of restructuring it. We had a committee in place to look at generally restructuring the police force. And that committee reported to the General Officer Corps late last year. There's some fine tuning of the document that need to be done. Among the recommendations were to delink the public relations from the complaint department, and that is something that we are looking at
Because complaints don't make you look good.
Yeah.
And public relations is supposed to make you look good.
Yes. So yeah, it's a bit
Very
of
conflicting. And it's been like that for years. So by June, maybe mid-year this year, we could
Well,
say,
hopefully before that.
cross our fingers.
Well, we'll have to have like different offices. It would take like resources to staff the office and to man and all those kind of things. So
Okay, so
looking
it's a,
for office space and all those things. So these are things that we are looking at right now.
all right. So it's a
Yeah.
work in progress. I think this question here you have answered. In answering the question, how have you dealt with the situation when people made complaints about your police officers? I think you mentioned disciplinary actions, and going forward, you're looking into sharing that information with the public.
Yes.
All right. Now, I think at this time we can take a quick break, take in some ads, and then come right back. If you have your questions, feel free to share them via the WhatsApp 457-9994 WhatsApp. And when we come back, we'll open the lines to take some calls at 457-9997. If you're just joining us, the voice that you are hearing, the male voice that is, the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Colin John. Now you've got your questions and your comments, so feel free to send them in the meantime. All right, let's take a break.
Introducing a new look for our award-winning Hyroon beer. The new Hyroon label, bottled in gentle black sands, meet lush emerald green vegetation. The new logo fuses with the arch, a symbol of strength and support. A perfect representation of the City of Arches. It features the SV blended with fancy themes. This new the winning superiority of brew presents the passion brewed by Vincentians for Vincentians. Hyroon beer available at all supermarkets, depots, bars.
Find this $1,099, save $1,800. The Ashley County on Love Seat is now only $2,299. Save $700. Save $499. Technical chargeable speaker. Now only $849. With Ready Finance, shop this deal only at Quartz. Home.
The flavor nice. With over 60 years experience. Oh, cigarettes on them. 10 cigarettes in a pack for up to $3. It's not for minors.
3, 2, 1.
New Year! You heard right. It's not just a new year. It's a new year. It's time to put yourself first and build a strong financial strategy. We have your assets and options to help put your goals in the spotlight. Whether you want to protect yourself from the unexpected, we are
St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's a whole new world out there. Reaching new customers and getting products faster. That's what it's all about. Ocean freight rates. It's faster, more reliable air cargo service. Weekly to the USA, Puerto Rico, and providing export and e-commerce solutions to head of the competition for special low rates on small packages and air cargo. Contact SkyMax today for 456-5400 to book your shipments today.
Clean magazines and dryers in SVG. At Singer, choose between our West Point and Speed.
All right, welcome back to the studios of WFM 99.9. With us this morning is the Commissioner of Police for the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, Mr. Colin John. Let's take in some questions from the WhatsApp. Somebody says a traffic issue. I'm not sure if you're still typing that question, but we wait patiently for that, and it's now time to get questions and comments from you, the listeners. All right, so in an event where two people will get into an altercation and the police were called to the scene, not knowing the circumstances surrounding this altercation, why do they take their batons out and start hitting people? Is there a different approach to getting the situation under control?
Yeah, well, I don't think the particular issue event that you're referring to, but if that approach was taken as not the correct approach, would always advise the police officers that whenever they're approaching anyone, the first option should not be aggression. So I would be surprised, or it will not be part of the instructions or the standard of the Royal St. Vincent and Grenadines Police Force for someone to engage in that activity as you described it in your post.
Okay, so in a circumstance like that, if I met with a not so nice approach by or from a police officer, am I entitled to, or are they entitled to give me their names and officer numbers? I know they would have like a number after like PC, some 3-digit number.
Whenever police is dealing with a situation, they should identify themselves by showing their badge or their ID, and if requested, give their name. Well, the name should be on the police identification card in in any case. So they should say, okay, I am PC359 John from the Mespo Police Station. I am here to deal with this particular issue, and they show their ID.
Okay, so that should be one of the first things
Yeah.
that you say: identify who you are
Yeah.
and show.
Yes.
And if they don't, then the civilian has the right to do what?
Well, to request the information from them, and then if they further refuse, well, I am not there on the spot, but I would advise, once it is something that you can cooperate, and you should, because some persons, inclusive of police officers, may act in an irrational manner, and we won't want it to escalate. You can, well, it may be advisable at that time, although, as I said before, the police should follow that procedure to comply, and then if after that, then you can come and make a report about it to prevent this issue from further escalating, really.
Okay, so you are an officer pretty much 24/7, but you might be off duty
Yes.
at certain time. You would still have your badge with
Yeah,
you.
you should, yeah.
Should.
It's wallet size, so you should have it in your wallet.
Okay, is there anything different if you're faced with a circumstance or an altercation and you try to intervene? How different it is because you're now in your own clothes?
Well, you should still act it. That's why I'm saying you should have your ID card on you at all times, and then you indicate to me, okay, I am a police officer. I'm just in plain clothes, as you can see. This is my ID to verify my identity, really.
Could they lay a charge on somebody? If they observe a traffic offense, could they come back when they go back on duty?
Well, they can, even at that point, they can lay a charge once you identify yourself and all those things.
Oh, I've seen that once. The van driver complained about, so he was off duty at the time. He's not supposed to, but it's still possible.
Yes, yes.
Next, you cannot get away from a traffic offense, okay? Even if they're in their own clothes. Let's get some more questions coming in. This is a comment. Christal here in America. There is a hotline that you can call confidentially. You don't leave any names, and based upon the information you gave, they will do their investigation and interrogation and get convictions. The witness is not known. So can't we get something similar to that?
One person's called here, they don't necessarily have to leave their name. And so once you give the important information, and then we can follow through on it, right?
Okay, so it's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Okay, another one. Good morning. I have a feeling that some crimes that happen, people see, they're afraid to talk because their life is in danger. When they go to court and witness, somebody might come and take revenge.
There's a concern that persons will raise from time to time. And that's one of the reasons why we have this particular piece of legislation in place. It was tested in court in the last assizes, and the judge ruled that the person can be allowed to give evidence anonymously.
All right. So you see, there's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. This one is a traffic complaint. There is a no parking sign outside of Chill Spot, Arnersville. I can't remember seeing that. Then again, I don't park there. And there's always vehicles parked on both sides of the road. Police sometimes in the area, and nothing is being done. And that area is always busy with traffic in and out.
Okay, something that I can speak to the officer in charge of that division about, so he can look into it. Thanks for the information. It's something that we may have omitted. So something that we can work on really.
Yes. In terms of traffic offenses, there are some folks who tend to park on the side of the road, main road. I know coming down Lomans, there's an instance of a vehicle. It has no license plate. It was mentioned on Monday, and up to yesterday, it was still there. It's on the side of the road. Can you do anything to remove those kind of obstructions from the main road? I mean, secondary roads might be able to give and take because some people might live there and it's impossible, or so on and so on. But on the main road in particular, how come sometimes those issues are they appear to be just overlooked?
I think, regrettably, lack of vigilance on some police officers. It should not be the case. And we are working, and not only on main roads, but on the minor roads as well, because it can pose even more problem. Because the minor road might be even narrower, and the support might have an emergency and they want to move out at a particular time. So it's something that we are working in terms of the vehicles parked there for a significant period of time with the solid waste management unit. We have done it, some of it last year, something that we have to intensify on those vehicles parking those quote unquote roadside garages. They're posing some problems to us. So that's something that we're working on. As regard those vehicles that park for less period but still causing an inconvenience, it's something that the traffic department and the police in the district will have to step up on to ensure that these things are reduced significantly.
Quite a bit of stepping up to be done in different areas. Now, do you still have a problem with trailers parking illegally in some areas?
We have problem with trailers. Persons seem to have trailers and they have no way to park them. So, for instance, you might move them from Camden Park, and then, well, just on my way down here, I saw one up at the Lomans, was the just above the hard court, the Lomans just past Gibson Corner area.
Yeah.
We had the problem with them at the tarmac. So persons seem to be willing to buy trailers, and then after they bought the trailers, they say, well, but wait, I don't have anywhere to park it. And then they looking for somewhere to park it, which in some cases, they do not give attention to being the trailers causing inconvenience to the members of the public and can also cause fatal accidents. So it's something that we have done. We have prosecuted persons before for those things. We have sent out notice on the police website and other medium to ensure that persons are aware of this problem and that the police is really looking into it.
But even outside of it being an offense and you can get charged and so on, I mean, you often wonder if people really think about other folks, other road users, because sometimes where they're parked, if you're coming around at night and there's no reflector light on it, at least, well, it is wrong. You could run straight into it if you're
agree.
not.
That's why I say it can cause fatal accidents.
Right. What's the maximum fine?
Well, they will charge under the Traffic Act for those things, really. Yeah.
Oh, so there's no. You can go to prison.
No, I don't think it's a prison sentence.
Okay.
Really.
That's another way to get some money. All right. Somebody says, I think you're doing a great job, Mr. Commissioner. Keep up the good work. All right. So we have just about 19 more minutes until
Thank
9
you
o'clock.
for your comments, and I try my best to ensure that the public of St. Vincent and Grenadines given good service. I am in no way perfect, and the organization is in no way perfect, but we are trying to ensure that we are kept to the high standard that the people of St. Vincent and Grenadines and the visitors hold us to.
Okay. Here's another one coming in on the live. Good morning, Christal and Commissioner John. Yesterday, a passenger van broke down before Richardson gas station in Annisville. The driver and someone were fixing that van From around 11 a.m. up until 4:30 p.m., traffic was backed up close to Murray's Village Gap. Why should someone be so inconsiderate with the police intervention?
Yeah, as I said, persons sometimes just don't give sufficient attention or sufficient consideration to other persons. Okay, I know it might be difficult the fact that your vehicle is broken down there, but it would be better if you can at least get some um, equipment to tow the vehicle away, and then the traffic can be allowed to flow properly. So I don't. It's the first time I'm hearing of this particular incident, but it's something that I don't know if the traffic department I can look into and ensure that we are more vigilant in that area. Well, sometime it was yesterday morning as well. I was coming to work in the Prospect area. I saw a trailer, one of those food trailers, in the middle of the road, causing obstruction. Apparently, when I called the person in charge of the South Central Division and I told him about it. When he investigated, apparently the vehicle that was hauling the trailer that had some problems, so they just detach the vehicle from the trailer and leave it in the middle of the road until God knows when. So we were able to get on to the owner of the trailer, and that was the where we got them to remove it. I think it's about 12 o'clock yesterday, and that was like about minutes to 8 yesterday morning. I was coming to work, and that trailer was in the middle of the road, just I think before you reach where Pastor Daniel has his church in that area.
But some people unruly too, yes? How you gonna leave your thing right there?
Gas bottle and all and everything, and on the trailer.
Father, help us. Now, it appears as though people could assist the police a bit more in terms of traffic offenses. What is the quickest way to relay some information to the traffic department? Is it could we do it via WhatsApp? I know there's a public relations WhatsApp number.
Yeah.
What is the quickest way to get to them? You have to call the main station.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes, but it's something that we can. Well, and forum like these, important information, important suggestions come out. So it's something that we can look at in terms of improving the level of communication to different departments, inclusive of the traffic department. I can tell you though that with the assistance of a good corporate citizen, we were able to obtain some tablets, and in conjunction with the government IT department, we are in the process of getting all the data from different license and the license department. So a police officer would be out on the street and tap into his tablet when he sees a vehicle and able to verify if this vehicle is who is owned by and all those particulars and stuff.
So you could get in trouble faster.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Well, I don't know, get in trouble. The police
If it's not yours, like your
yeah.
license is out or something, and the other,
definitely.
get in trouble a little faster. You'll be able to get information, speed it up. Traffic, no. We're asking plenty of traffic questions, but your license, you don't have your license on you. How much time do you have to bring it in?
You should always have a license on you. The insurance is a different situation. You get 2 days to produce the
Insurance.
Yeah, but the license you should always have, because you can actually be charged for failing to have your license on you.
On you.
Yes, yes.
Could you drive with the receipt?
Mm.
No,
Maybe,
sometimes you go to pay.
Generally, I know technology can fail us, and let's say you went to pay your license, and the license department, they are not, for whatever reason at the time, able to issue with or reissue with your license, but you have the receipt, then that can substantiate, and that may be a mitigating factor in that regard.
Okay. Okay, so go get your physical card. Okay, not even a photograph of the card will work in this. No. So there's a call coming through. I feel like I know where it will go, and it is going to escalate. So, oh, try again, caller. All right, and let's see what you have to say this morning, and if it gets anywhere close to an escalation. All right. Okay. Let's see. This. Trailer. Let's see. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Sister Christal, and good morning, Commissioner. And let me say to you, Christal, never would I escalate anything because I spoke to this man and I called to give him some support. I called the Commissioner. I said to Commissioner, we are having a problem. I live how much 37 years in Anisville. And all I'm saying to you, Commissioner, this is not an escalation, man. I've been begging. I call Sergeant Ross every day. I send out thousands of documents. I'm saying, Commissioner, I believe you can do it. Because let me say to you, I am not in a political party. Commissioner, all I beg of you, get back the public. See, St. Kitts with a very serious crime situations in Lucia, they're actually working with the public. We've seen Prime Minister said, we want the people to feel comfortable. If I call Calico, I say I saw a man with a gun, I see people with guns and so on, people are scared that the police would. I am saying, give us back that assurance, sir. But one thing I beg of you, sir, Commissioner, because let me say to you, although I'm critical of you, I still have a lot of confidence that you can do it. I'm begging of you to be able to speak to the people above you, to tell them help you. They'll help you down. Because for me, this is a problem we're having in some countries where our police commissioner or senior police officers can't go forward. And I'm begging of you again, Christal, I'm not going to escalate anything. I do a lot of behind the scenes. I love the police. I call them. I speak day and night, even when I was very close to ULP. And I'm begging you all, we have got to work with our community. We have got to get people back to trust you. You have to have police officers that can respect us, not put on the phone because you criticize a politician. And I believe you can do it. Why do I want you to do it? When you make our people safe, you make me safe. You encourage the tourists to come in. I'm begging you on Mr. Gonzab. I'm begging you, Dr. Friday. I'm begging all of you politicians. It is time we fix our country. Who can do it? Let us get them out and put people who can do it. But I'm saying here, I'm calling it with disrespect you. I think you can do it for us if you get the help from above. I hope I'm simple and clear and plain. And I'm wishing you and the police officer all the best for the year. And Christal, let me tell you something, I love you, And I ain't calling your radio station to disrespect you. But do not make me have to tell lies for you to embrace me. Love you very much. God bless you all very much.
Thank you, Mr. Hamilton, and thanks for your comments. We welcome the critique. We would hope that they are constructive, but nevertheless, we welcome the criticism because that's one way in which we can improve the police product and serve the people of St. Vincent and Grenadines in a better capacity. So thanks once again, Mr. Hamilton.
All right. The phone lines are open. We got 10 more minutes on the inside. Question coming in on the WhatsApp. WhatsApp number is 79994. Good morning. Why aren't there more press conferences?
Yeah, well, we send out press release from time to time, and we have to balance the information that we give to the public. The persons who are listening are not only law-abiding citizens. The criminals, they may be listening to press conferences to hear how much the police knows about particular incident. So from time to time, based on the discretion of the Commissioner of Police or the senior ranks, we would determine if we'll have a press conference or just send out a press release as the case may be.
All right. Call coming in. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. It's so refreshing to hear the Commissioner and the radio explaining certain things about crime. Anyway, I just tune in, but I want to make a recommendation. Now, I think we should have more stop and search. Because a lot of the guns are moving around, they're moving in vehicles. And if we have that, it'll kind of scare them guys from walking with firearms in vehicles. because a lot of them is drive-by shooting. So if we organize more of that, it might be a little deterrent. The other recommendation I want to make is that a lot of the people who move around with these vehicles, they use false number plates. And I don't know if the licensing authority could have some way to your number, your registration number, to print it on the license sticker on the vehicle. So when police stop and search, you know, and the registration number is different from what is on the license plate, they could detect that by somebody trying something. I don't know, something I think could work.
Okay, two brilliant suggestions. Carla. And I believe that you would have seen, but well, other members of the public, we have intensified the stop and search, and it's something that we intend to continue to do. As regard the issue of the license plate, there's a department within the Royal Civil and Grenadines Police Force that is called the Legal Research and Policy Unit. One of the rules is to advise the Commissioner of Police as to certain policies and legal matters. That unit is headed by Assistant Superintendent of Police, Mr. John Bala. He is a lawyer. He had a stint at the Office of the DPP. So he's preparing a document to advise in that regard. More so, where it is so easy for persons to make license plate. So you do not have to have a license to make a license plate. Person can just open a shop.
Go anywhere and
piece of prospect and print some number on it, and
we should control that. That should be regulated.
It's something that we would be writing to the Attorney General, and so SP Bala is preparing that document currently for us to send to the Office of the Attorney General for their advice. We're giving certain recommendations in that regard. We also have had discussions about the tint on vehicles. That poses a problem to us, but the law as it is existing currently seem a bit limited as to what the police can do with persons who are tinting the vehicle and with certain specifications. So that is something that we are looking at as well. So these are some crime fighting methods that we are looking at really.
Yeah, that one there with the number plate and thing, really, because I mean anybody could just go build number plate. You should have some authority that you have to go by. I mean you must go by them and they have a stamp or some kind of identification something. So that when the police see, you know exactly that is a legit number plate.
We have stopped persons who are involved in criminal activities, and then when we check the vehicle, we'll find one number plate on top of another. We have searched different houses and found, among other items, number plates, different number plates. Among them, we find like cocaine and other things, and ski masks and those things. So we believe that the number plates, they are used to assist in the commission of the crime and to prevent detection of the vehicle. So that's something.
That if I have a car just like yours, you can put on my number plate.
Yes.
You can put on my number plate. I went to get a number plate the other day by a place. And the people then did not even ask for my ID. I think that should be a requirement too.
Exactly.
Once the people them who selling the number plate should request that you
provide the document from the license department.
Yeah. And also your ID.
Right, exactly.
So anything happen now. Anybody go out there and commit a crime with that number plate, they could chase back and say, boy, Tom Jones came and built a number plate yesterday, so possibly it could be him.
Exactly.
You know? So these are the things that we have to look at and try and implement to to try and stem this crime. It's kind of getting out of hand, and you're doing a good job. You're doing an excellent job. I'm glad that you could come on the radio and say exactly what you're doing. I mean, some things you would not want to let it out to the public because, I mean, it wouldn't make sense, but I mean, we, the community and the police, all we got to work together hand in hand. If we see somebody committing a crime, we should report it, you know? You should report it to the police. Anyone listening, you have a good day.
Yeah, thanks for the vote of confidence, sir.
All right,
And
thank
thanks
you.
for your brilliant suggestions. Yes, thanks.
All right, thank you so much. We got 3 more minutes. I don't know if you want to use maybe 2 of the minutes to touch on the incident that happened on the first day of the year.
Well,
That's not a lot
the
of time,
matter
but
is under investigation. There's what I can say. The police was on patrol in the Rose Place area. An incident occurred there where a young man, Mr. Sage John, was injured. He was taken to Milton Cato Memorial Hospital and he succumbed to his injury. I just wish to express my condolences to his family for the fact that he is dead. The matter will be investigated. Coroner's inquest will more than likely be held, and we will take it from there. I do not wish to in any way prejudice what would take place by going into more details in that regard.
okay, understood. The coroner's mention of coroner's inquest takes me back to I think 2 separate incidences, but there's no time for that. 1 or 2 more comments.
Well, I know the one for the chambers. I think that was in process. I think the CJ weeks. Well, I don't know if those are the 2 you're speaking about.
Yes, weeks and
That I think that should have started already, or should be close to being started as well. So
okay.
yeah.
All right. Well, that was a quick update.
Yeah.
Thank you. Somebody is saying that you need to have more police on patrol because too many robberies are going on. And that is why vans don't work at the night. As late as 8 p.m., you can't catch a van because of the robbing. Now, regrettably, we have 30 seconds left. All right. So we can't take another call because we have a sponsor segment at the top of the hour. So we have to wrap it up now. Your final thoughts for this morning, Mr. John?
Thank you, Christal, for the opportunity to speak to the members of the public. The time went along very quickly, and I know we just barely scratched the surface. I would be prepared to come back and speak to the members of the public more on specific issues set by you, Christal. It's always good to be interacting with the public. They are my bosses at the end of the day, and to update them as to what we are doing and ways, get suggestions from them as to ways in which we can improve our product to the public. And I just want to, as I started, to end by saying thanks to the loyal and dedicated members of the Royal St. Vincent and Grenadines Police Force for their hard work, for their guidance, for their support to me as Commissioner of Police, and for their service to the people of St. Vincent and Grenadines. Thanks to the citizens of St. Vincent and Grenadines as well for their continued support. In some cases, financially, they give different equipment to the Royal St. Vincent and Grenadines Police Force. They share information. They give moral support. It's the ways in which the public assists police is innumerable, and I just want to tell them to continue to have confidence in us, continue to provide your critique and criticism when it's necessary, and give us the guidance that we need to ensure that we serve you better. Thank you once again, Christal.
All right, not a problem. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much for joining us on the live as well.